Happy Friday.
It's Friday? Already?
First things first,
Yeah.
let's get good drunk.
Today is a day of saying, hey, yippee, hey, yippee. This is Sparta!
Loud noises!
Ah yes. We made it, we finally made it, we have made it to the Friday episode. On tonight's episode, Big Drewski and Casper break down some of the premier matchups in college football this upcoming weekend. Spreads, over/unders, and of course your weekly pick-ins. Today's episode is sponsored by the Depot Printhouse, www.staycating.com, and True Tennessean Clothing Company. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave the boys a review, because again, I can't stress this enough, but they have literally no clue what they are doing. Let's get on into today's show.
Oh yeah, baby. Welcome to the Little Tangerine Show. It's Halloween week, baby. Casper's back. Welcome back. I missed you dearly. I'm still in the Halloween spirit myself. Casper, how was your weekend since you're much about it?
What is on your head?
Hey man, I'm just doing my T50
What in
impersonation.
the hell is that? Are you Billy Ray Cyrus?
I could be for the right price.
Good God! Wow, sorry y'all, that threw me off.
I got my
the weekend
mullet
was
wig
good.
on for those of you that can't see.
The weekend was good, other than you making some crackpot off-color comments on the podcast without me. But I'd like to correct
Whatever do you mean?
a couple of things off the rip. I don't go to the Appalachian part of North Carolina because that's Asheville, and I don't believe in Asheville. Asheville is for people that don't believe like me. And so I went to
is that one of those
coastal Carolina. Okay, so don't you come at me sideways.
Was that one of those offensive statements?
It was. It really, and the moral of the story was just wrong. It really got me fired up, and I don't know. But no, other than that, it was a great weekend.
I think you're a liar.
I really enjoyed.
I think you're a liar.
Only 80% of the time. I really enjoyed getting to see my grandparents. Man, I hadn't got to go visit them at their house in quite a while, and so that was a great time. But no, it was a good weekend. Missed watching a little football, but I caught up.
Yeah, it was a bit of a crazy week for sure. I had a good time. Watching the games that I did watch. It was pretty interesting. It was after doing it together for so long, and then having to go back old school. But it be like that sometimes. But I'm glad you had a good time with your family. Now I'm gonna take my mullet wig off just for you.
Thank God.
I'm just in the Halloween spirit. I got my true
Halloween is
shirt
over. It's Friday. Halloween is over. Okay, take that off.
It's just like the spirit of Christmas. I try to keep it going all year long, in my heart.
Sheesh.
So
Christmas is trash too, if you want me to be honest with you. But I'm obviously Oscar the Grouch, so anyways, there we go. There he is. Good job. You're back.
I am
yes.
back. So I feel like we got a pretty fun show for you tonight, as I can hear my wife yelling at my child in the background.
Hey, got what you got to do, Casper's ghost.
So now you had a Daver Down spotting today as well.
I saw Daver Down in the wild. Daver Down has the sexiest Ford effing Ranger on the road, and I actually tried to buy it from him one time, and he was like, I'm gonna want more for it than you're gonna give me. So we never got to get in to make a deal. But I saw him drive down the road. Glad to know he's up and moving, and hopefully we'll see him again soon.
Yeah, I'm glad as well, man. Old Daver Down's like the freaking, college football game guessing goat. We had no clue. He just low key like, oh yeah, I'll play. If you guys want me to play, I'll play.
Yeah.
And then, he kind of, I didn't realize it at the time. He gave me that look in his eye that was like, with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
And he just has come in and absolutely, like, the first week or two, it was kind of like, he was kind of floundering a little bit, and then he just really hit his stride and never looked back. I mean, it was pretty crazy. But so any other just BS stuff, I guess, that you found in last week's episode? I mean, I
Man,
appreciate
no,
you sending that video in.
not really. You said you beat Daver Down. Daver Down definitely beat you. Though.
I didn't say I beat him. I said I tied him.
You told me on the phone Monday you beat him. And you lied.
No, I said
David.
I said I beat everybody except Daver Down, but like you can't even. It's still a moral win because he's going to win every week regardless.
691st in the world, top 700.
It's pretty
700
incredible.
Club had a baby.
It's pretty incredible.
But yeah, no, I mean it's been a great week. Anyways, I don't have any other BS. Hey, your boy Dion apparently needs to hire some security. Security.
Yeah,
I got security right there.
Yeah,
they're available for hire.
Dion, I mean, yeah, Casper's, 6'7". I'm not 6'7", but I mean, we're pretty large and portly. We support you. I look pretty dang good in black. I mean, if you need some security, you just let us know. We'll fly up to Boulder. We'll hang out with the locals, see what they're about. Get into some of the local customs maybe, because I dang sure would quit my job.
Yeah.
No test needed. No accuracy test needed. That's code for seeing if you can pee in a cup. But yeah, no, I heard about that. I was like, oh man, just like we did at Jackson State. I don't know. Your thoughts? I mean,
my thoughts are kind of that he should know better by now. Like, have had security hired before. I mean, I'd honestly just assume that they had that at Colorado. They're paying him $30 million. Surely they can afford to pay a security guard or two $100,000 or $200,000 a year, right? I mean,
you would think so, especially with all that pizzazz and that bling bling and the thingy things and all that in there that they got going on. It's he would be like, man, watch the
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna hate on it. It's obviously a shame that people's having their stuff stolen. Period. But yeah,
But yeah, that was unfortunate. Now leading into the next thing, weekend plans.
Ooh, me.
Do we have anything planned for this weekend?
I don't. Do you?
I don't know. I was.
You have something to invite me to?
I was kind of moseying over something. Yeah. So I was given tickets to this weekend's game. So boom, we're going to the game. What? We're gonna see UConn. We're gonna see UConn.
No way.
Get pummeled. I gotta tell you, I gotta give you an Oscar for your
dude. I hope they
there.
have the blue unis on, dude. If they wear those blue unis that game, I love blue uniforms. I've been talking about it all week.
Anytime.
I'm so excited to go.
Anytime we venture into just a little dabble of Carolina blue, Casper, he's like, it's kind of like the best of both worlds. But so this is something we were talking about off camera, okay, off air, whatever you want to call it. It is interesting. So a lot of people are asking about, are we going to do blue uniforms? Are we going to just do an accent, whatever? I do find it slightly strange that we have not at this point, now we're pre-recording this, but at this current point, they have not released the uniform combination. I do think that that's slightly interesting. It kind of leads me to believe maybe they're going to do something spunky. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, I don't want to get too crazy with it, but I am kind of with old Coach Jonathan Wade there. I'm like, man, if you're going to do it, like, don't just throw a wristband on there. Like, just do it,
Yeah, I mean, I had this thought today on the way home. What if instead of just accessories and armbands and all that crap, what if we go like helmet, cleats?
I'd be cool with the hell. You talking about like
baby
your
blue,
regular
orange tee, white trim.
Yeah, like our usual helmets, but with a black or a blue background or whatever.
Yep, basically, yeah. And then like some
I
blue
could,
cleats, and then maybe
yeah.
a little blue trim. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. I feel like I'm torn. Obviously, recording this on Wednesday and they haven't released it yet. They're probably gonna release it Thursday. Y'all are gonna listen to Friday, but Drewski, what's your prediction on the uniforms? Then I'll make mine. What are we gonna do?
I definitely think they're gonna do more than what they did last year. There's a lot of fan whatever's out there, a lot of fan mock-ups and stuff, but I don't know that we're going to see anything new as far as the helmet goes. I could see maybe orange helmet, white stripe or something, but I think maybe they'll go blue jersey and then like maybe a stripe or something. I don't know. I think they're going to do something more, but I don't
Is
know
there
that
going to
they're
be
going to
blue on the jersey? That's what I want to know. Jersey and pants,
so,
will there be
yeah.
blue? Yes or no? That's the prediction.
I think so.
Okay, yeah. I agree. I think yes. And I think we're going with the orange helmet. I think the answer is going to be orange helmet. I really do. I think we can go ahead and get that out of the way. We're favored by 36. So this is a good time to get that win. Like you say, get us to 50-50 with orange helmets. It also looked pretty cool if we went blue uniform to go with orange helmet. Maybe with you could do the outline of the T in blue or something like that, or a blue stripe kind of tied together. But I hope they go blue. They may not. I don't really care either way. I'm just excited to go. I can't believe you're inviting me. I hadn't accepted yet, but I have to work on a babysitter.
Yeah, finding someone to sit on your baby is definitely. It's not as easy as it used to be. There's a lot of psychos out there.
I let my baby sit on me anytime she wants to.
I mean, I'm right there with you. Things are pretty good with me and the lady as of late, but I'm gonna say I'll save that. I've got a slight announcement, but I'm gonna save that later. I'll save that for later.
It's way later in the season.
But yeah, so either way, pretty excited. So me and Casper will be at the game. I guess this will be like a little slight dose. I don't know if I'm gonna put out. My thing is I'm not trying to blast it out too far that I'm gonna be there. I do want to kind of see those of you that's listening to the podcast if anybody hits me up or whatever. But I don't know. I feel like we need some kind of weird prize for if someone bumps into us and recognizes us. Not that it's going to happen because there's 102,000 people there, but we need some kind of weird prize like a high five or I don't know, maybe not a high five. I don't have any business cards or anything, but we need a code word McCracken. I don't know. Yeah. Something.
Somebody says McCracken, we'll know you listen to the show. Thank you. All right. Anyways, moving on.
Peanut butter.
Drewski will be wearing his game day overalls that are not checkered. I will not.
Yes, I will be wearing my game day overalls, which are denim like a normal person. I'm just kidding. I'm not hating on y'all's game day. But I just wear overalls all the time. So those are, in fact, my game day overalls. I don't know what the weather's going to be like Saturday. So
yeah, I'm not worried about it. I'm just excited to go. Congratulations.
I know.
Let's do this thing. Any other news? Or are we ready to get in this breakdown? I'm still pumped about this game. It might be time to go.
Well, we'll get in. Well, I tell you what. Let's go ahead. We're gonna do one more thing. We're gonna queue up one of my personal favorite sections, the dumbass comment of the week.
It's time for one of Big Drewski and Casper's favorite segments, called the dumbass comment of the week.
Way to go, a-hole!
Hey! So, I mean, really, I don't know why they still let Dabo Sweeney do interviews. It just seems like a lot of the time he figures out a way to insert his foot into his mouth. I don't really know.
This wasn't even an interview. This was the call-in show. This is like Vol calls, but I mean,
Yeah, it's like their version of All Calls, I
Tiger
guess.
Calls radio show.
Yeah, which that's a dumb name, anyways. They should be chastised just for that alone. I don't know why it's not showing our pictures right now, but either way, so Dabo Sweeney. I mean, the gist of this is a fan slash listener, whatever you want to call it, called in and just kind of basically asked him point blank. I'm trying to find the
He
exact.
said, "Why are we paying you $11.5 million to go 4-4?"
Yes, which uh, Sweeney, I'm just going to read part of this article. This article is from sportingnews.com. It says Sweeney did not hesitate to blast right back at the caller. The Clemson coach ripped into Tyler in a 5-minute response, describing him as part of the problem and saying he is among those where the expectation is greater than the appreciation. So basically, Dabo, and I mean, he's got some somewhat valid points. He's like, hey, dude, look, what'd y'all do before I got here? We got 2 and 7 years. Okay, shut your washer. Okay, I've done a lot for this university, this school. Okay, I don't want to hear it. So he kind of shut him down, but it does kind of beg the question. I mean, like, not necessarily why are we paying you that much to go 4-4, but I mean, people that don't want to be held accountable for their actions. I mean, I don't know, man. Like my thing is like I feel like it's a somewhat valid question. Now, granted, I didn't listen to the clip. I don't know how ignorant the dude that called in was
It
or
was
whatever.
pretty
But
ignorant. I listened to it. It's pretty ignorant.
It is kind of a valid question as far as like I mean, what. I mean, dude, we're 4-4. Like, what are we doing about it? And I wouldn't word it like that, but Dabo kind of sort of has this attitude from time to time, like, hey, I won 2 natties, like I'm good essentially for life. And it's like, man, like, yeah, but past a certain point, it's like, what have you done for me lately? I guess. I don't know. People forget about that stuff. He notoriously doesn't want to play the NIL game. I don't know, man. I don't know. But what was your thoughts on it?
I don't like Dabo. Dabo was the chosen one for Alabama. Like I think I said on here before, when I lived in Alabama, he was the chosen one to replace the Lord Nick Saban. And that's out the window. He goes and makes comments like this. It's just it. I give him a little bit of credit for clapping back at the fans. Obviously, me and you have some Tennessee fans that we disagree with that want to talk crap about Joe Milton and all that. But you know,
That does happen a lot.
you got to be able to take a little bit of heat. When you're the coach, and if you're gonna be a bully, then maybe you should just avoid the radio show, I guess, with the call-ins. I don't know. It is what it is. Like I said, I'm kind of torn. I just don't really like Dabo, so I can't really give you an honest opinion because of that. But I did think it's interesting that somebody call in and do it. My question to you is just kind of to follow us up is like, should these radio shows be a thing? Ball calls even? Like, because some of these people say some completely unrealistic crap. I mean, at the end of the day.
Well, I mean, that's part of the reason why, it's part of the reason why we don't just let open callers on here, to be honest with you. But I mean, I think that America's great. And I think part of what makes America great is, the freedom of speech. Like, obviously fans want to voice their opinion, but I think as a general thing, like, you should have more tact than to just come at the coach of your alleged favorite team like that. Like, I think you should have a little bit more respect for that. And he is right. Like, the appreciation at times I think is probably not there for everything that he's done for the university. Now, I will say that, I'm not the biggest Dabo fan. I didn't necessarily hate him. I didn't really have anything for or against him until he started talking smack about the Vols after we lost to South Carolina. And it's like, okay, you inserted yourself into this conversation. But, I don't know. Ever since then, it's kind of like, but now I just think it's funny every time he puts his foot in his mouth on national TV. Yeah. So, but I don't know. What was your question? I think I answered it.
You did.
I went on a rant, but
I was just, should we have these radio shows? And I don't know.
Well, if they're allowed to have their radio show, then we're allowed to. If they're not, then of course ours isn't necessarily a radio show, but you do get into some of that
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm
crazy
just saying, like,
stuff.
maybe it's time to start avoiding these people. People's crazy, man. You got people shooting up high school football games. You got fans running on the field thinking that's okay. You got people throwing stuff out of the stands every week. Like,
What
unfortunately, as a
about old
society, we move
Kansas
to a much.
copying the Vols too? While we're
Oh
talking about
wow,
that, we forgot.
Kansas.
I didn't even cover that in the post episode. But my God, man, like, the Vols, we tear down our goalposts, throw it in the river.
Hey
Now,
man,
any, college football, team in America, their fan base is going to rip down the goalposts and throw it in the nearest body of water. Like, that's our thing. Get your own.
yeah, amen. Preach.
Like,
Hey, they're coming down against Georgia. Anyways,
taking them down.
but yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's ignorant. Nobody likes Kansas. They're basketball school. Who? Who?
Speaking of basketball schools, we're playing one this weekend. Perfect segue. The Vols are going up against UConn, baby. The game that me and Casper are going to. Thanks to staycating.com for sponsoring those tickets, baby.
Oh yeah, thanks, staycating.com.
Staycating.com, locally owned but nationally known, your number one source, baby, for short-term rental stays in East Tennessee. I'm so excited. I'm pumped. But this is a game that the Vols should win. The Vols appear to have things dialed in. To be honest with you, I don't know a lot about UConn. I know that their quarterback, is like, he's got like 1,200 yards on the season, 8 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. I'm looking at my notes here. Now, I will say the Vols are doing an amazing job at making average players look amazing. So he could ball out and have 600 yards for all we know, especially with Kamal Hadden out. Vols fans, the ones that were complaining about Hadden, I guess you're going to get what you want. We're going to get blown up in the secondary for the rest of the year, but you don't like him, because he was defending his teammates' honor or whatever. I don't know. But, Vols seem like they got it locked in. Casper, I mean, initial thoughts coming into this game. I mean, things
Yeah.
you want to see.
So definitely not a lot of breakdown here for this game. UConn has lost all their games this year except their one against Rice. They are 1-7. They beat Rice on October 7th, 38-31. I mean, there's just not a lot of good things to say. They lost to the likes of Georgia State, Florida International, and Utah State, South Florida, and Boston College. So pretty much the only thing to say about them. ESPN doesn't even give us all the stats we normally get for this game. So, I mean, not a whole lot, man. This is what I want to see. This is our week to get everything lined up. I want to see Milton throw the ball well, accurate, no picks. I want to see Sampson run the ball. I want to see Wright run the ball. And I want to see Small run the ball as well. And then I want to see Nico in the third quarter. Like in the third quarter. Maybe not first drive. Maybe we give Joe one drive in the second half, but I want Nico in the third quarter in this game. I hope we get to see that while we're there, and not for an injury. But I think the key here is get dialed in, Tennessee. Obviously, we got big games coming up. I want to shoot for 9-3. I'd really like to shoot for 10-2, but 9-3 would be okay. And we got 2 big games coming up after this one, so we kind of got to get tuned up this weekend, ready to go.
So, my thing is offensive line, since Cooper Mays has come back in, has played good. Our defensive line has played great. Our secondary, before the what am I trying to say? Kamal Hadden injury, they played great. Not as great last week. My biggest thing is the main thing that I want to see. We know we can run the ball. I want to see Nico in the second half, just because we got to get him some reps at some point. The the biggest thing that I want to see, man, is I want to see, and again, we're not going to see a lot of different plays this week. It's not like we're going to open up the playbook against UConn, but give me 3 to 4 receivers with at least 50 yards. Okay.
Yeah.
I know that sounds ignorant, but
No, it doesn't.
I mean, we're 3/4 of the way through this year, and not a single. The highest receiving yard total is Squirrel White with 463 yards, which he's played great. But Ramel Keaton has 22 catches this year, 331 yards. Brew McCoy's hurt, but Dante Thornton has 152 yards receiving this year.
10 catches.
Yeah, 10 catches. Ugh. Now, out of that 150 yards, 63 of them came last week, 3 catches against Kentucky. We heard about how lights out he was going to be. And again, I'm not talking, bad about the guy or anything. He seems like a good dude, but it's like, man, like, where have you been? I mean, Brew McCoy exits the lineup due to injury. I mean, and again, I'm not talking bad about him or nothing. Like, he seems like he's a good player, but he's got 10 catches, 152. Dylan Sampson, our third string running back, has 12 catches, 137 yards. Our third string running back is matching, his output, and on paper he's like supposed to be our 4th best wide receiver. Nimrod has 80 yards, but 39 of them was on 1 catch. I just want to see multiple guys worked in the pass game. I don't think that Milton played that much different last week. I think our guys just started catching them, man. Yeah. I don't know if they're just now getting used to the heat or what, but I want to give me 4 guys with 50 yards plus. Like, I want to see multiple guys getting involved and doing something. I don't even, don't get me wrong. I mean, obviously I'd love to see a blowout, but I don't care about points. I just want to see output that makes me feel better coming into, Mizzou and Georgia, who's going to be probably, the hardest game as far as, like, I don't want to say best team, but like Florida was a tough environment. Bama was a tough environment. Bama's a great team, but I think Georgia's probably the best quote unquote team we're going to face. But that for me, man, is like, I feel like Milton's played great. The offensive line's played great. Our running game has been phenomenal. Wide receivers, what you got?
Yeah.
But this is a game that the Vols should win. 90. I'm getting back to my other screen. 97.7% on the matchup predictor. Should win this one, no problem. Stranger things have happened, but the Vols need this one. So instead of talking about the outcome of this game or guessing points or anything like that, rest of the year outlook, Casper. I mean, what are you thinking? I kind of went over the Vols' path that they have to take to make the SEC championship, which, again, we're not saying they're going to make it, but what's your thoughts on the remaining schedule? UConn at Mizzou versus Georgia versus Vandy. We got 1 road game left at Mizzou. And then we go to number 2, Georgia. Gosh, that sounds weird. Number 2, Georgia and Vandy.
Number 2, Georgia, we don't go to. They come here.
You said we what? You might have to lean in a little bit.
Georgia game's here in Knoxville.
Well, yeah, no, the only road game we got left is at Mizzou.
Okay, I got you. So here we are, 6-2. I see 2 wins guaranteed. Should be. I say guaranteed like this. Should be guaranteed. UConn and Vanderbilt. That got us at 8-2. And then for me to be happy with our season, I feel like we have to win 1 more. either Missouri or Georgia. I think both of them are very good football teams. I don't know if that's your opinion, but my opinion is that both of those are very good football teams.
I think Mizzou is way better than we're used to seeing. Yes.
And going on the road there is going to be tough. I think the time still hasn't been announced yet. It's like can be 3:30, can be 7:30, can be 8 game. I think is what I saw the other day. I'm a little nervous about that game. I don't really want to say what I actually think is going to happen on here yet. But I think we end up 9-3. I think we pull out the Georgia game or the Missouri game, one of the two, and I'll make my picks on which one as we go. But
a lot of Vols fans are going to be ridiculously upset at 9-3. But I mean, 2 losses at Florida, which we've not done in 20 years, at Alabama, plus a good Mizzou or a elite Georgia. Like at that point, 9-3 is kind of like,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. So I mean, overall expectations, I still want to hold us to 9-3, which means we have to win one of 2 very tough games. And then I'll be happy. If we don't, it is what it is. We shouldn't have choked to Florida at this point. Florida was a choke, and we end up 8-4 because we choked to Florida, and that just kind of sucks. It's what it is. But I think we can pull one of them out. So that's kind of my expectations at the end of the year. I think the SEC East is interesting here. You kind of talk about that picture. This Georgia-Missouri game this weekend is a big-time football game. If Missouri were to somehow pull it off, us against Missouri next week is a big-time football game, and then Georgia again. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
I guess we're not really going to talk about it on here, but did you see that Georgia got ranked number 2? So I guess they're going to go ahead and just absolutely spank the dog snot out of Missouri this weekend.
That's kind of what you would expect. I mean,
remember what happened last time they got ranked number 2?
The fact that they put Ohio State ranked first to me is asinine. If you don't know what we're talking about the college football playoffs. The AP poll doesn't matter. The CFP poll is the only one that matters at this point because that's how the playoff picture is going to go. So AP literally is irrelevant. But unless, if you haven't seen it yet, Ohio State is ranked first in the CFP playoff. That is not a typo. No disrespect to Ohio State, but it's like, man, they've not even – I don't even think they've been ranked first at any point all year. They might have been as high as 2, not 100% sure.
I think they were third. I think that's the highest they've been, honestly.
Yeah, but for them to leapfrog over Michigan and Georgia, to me, is asinine.
I agree.
It just is what it is.
And if you want to hear the rest of the rundown on that, be sure to listen to our other show, the CFP Top 25. Link will be in the description below.
Yeah, we're not going to go into like a deep dive or nothing on this one, but yeah, I thought that was asinine. But yeah, no, I think the Vols could finish strong. We should get Vandy, who's winless in conference play. Mizzou is underranked. I think that one's going to come down to what time that game is at, as far as how it's going to go.
Yeah.
And then going Mizzou, turning right around and going into Georgia, it's not going to surprise me if we lose 1, maybe even 2 games, to Mizzou and Georgia. But I think, though, the Vols faithful should be ecstatic with a 9-3 finish. We do have pulled up on the screen for those of you that's watching this later on the live or whatever it may be. We've got the rankings pulled up. SEC East, Georgia's 5-0 in conference play. Mizzou is 3-1. Florida and the Vols are both 3-2. However, Florida is going to stay ahead of the Vols if they have the same record because of the head-to-head. Kentucky's 2-3. South Carolina 1-5. Vandy 0-5. So again, and I talked about it a little bit last week, but only way the Vols can make an SEC run is they've got to remain undefeated. Mizzou has to beat Georgia, and then Florida's got to lose 1 more. And then Georgia would still have to lose to Arkansas or one of the other teams they play. That's the only way. I mean, technically, mathematically, it's there, but that's unlikely.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I'm pumped about going to this game now. Now you got me all kinds of excited.
I am pumped again. Super big shout out to staycating.com for hooking us up with those tickets. I meant to say that earlier. I'm super excited, man. Could not be more pumped. We've wanted to go to a game all year, but and guys, I don't have my fandom tied up in amount of games or money you spend or anything like that. But me and Casper, we're just a couple dads, family men that we got bills to pay, and we're like everybody else, man. I don't have the money to go, to every game, especially, I mean, for us, literally for me and Casper to go to Georgia would be like a month's worth of rent for me. Maybe even more. I don't know. But yeah, it's, there's only so much you can do, but we're so pumped. We're gonna have a blast, and I guess I don't know. We might do a little Johnny on the spot, or I don't know what we'll do. We'll do something, but if you bump into us, say howdy for sure. So we're gonna get into the weekly pick'ems, which again, if you want in-depth breakdowns or whatever, go to the CFB Top 25 podcast. I will try to remember to put a link to that in the description. But either way, just go to www.bigdrewski.com to find that. On this show, we're men of our word. We said we was going to do weekly pick'ems all year long, so we're keeping that going. So, Casper, I'm going to let you take over this segment. You go ahead and run with it. What do we got? Well, I'm picking the Vols. That's my pick. That's not an official pick, but
Oh yeah, we're all picking the Vols. They're not on the list this week, so I'm definitely picking the Vols as well.
Imagine that.
Yeah, close game.
Yeah.
Surprised they didn't put it in there. All right, guys. So we got 10 games. Believe it or not, this week, all but one of these games is ranked teams. All but one. I don't even know what to say. Anyways, first game up. Number 10, Ole Miss hosts the Texas A&M Aggies. It's going to be a 12 o'clock game, ESPN. Ole Miss welcoming in the Frogmen from Texas A&M. Even though they're not Frogmen, I don't really know why I said that. But anyways, Ole Miss -3, over under 53.5. Who you got, Big Drewski?
On this one, I'm going to take Lane Train at home, noon kickoff. Texas A&M is not a bad team. I've been trying to tell everybody since last season they are underrated. They're turning it around a little bit this year, but they're going to drop to 5-4 going into the home of Lane. So give me Ole Miss at home.
Yeah, I agree with you. Texas A&M, Jimbo, they just don't have it going on. Lane Train still trying to win the West for me. They're hanging around. I know they took that early loss to Bama, struggled a little bit, but they're still hanging around. I'm going to go with Ole Miss as well. Moving on, number 15, Notre Dame travels to Clemson for a 12 o'clock kick in Death Valley. The Clemson Tigers are 4-4, but kind of on the uptick this point in the year. Notre Dame favored by 3. Who are you going to go with for your pick'ems?
This one's tough. They are on an uptick with those 2 straight losses that they're on. They did beat Wake Forest, Syracuse. Sorry, I had to throw that in there.
God, I'm sorry, I watched football last weekend.
And you were drunk the weekend
because they're not ranked. Forgive me.
You didn't watch football this weekend, and you were drunk the weekend before. No, I'm just kidding.
But no, that's true. That's 100%.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess it was. Man, this one's tough for me because I actually do like Notre Dame. I think they're pretty well respected. The fact that you said Notre Dame's favored by 3.
Yep.
Okay, I'm taking Clemson Tigers at home. Dabo, listen, it's in Death Valley. They're going to be more. They're going to be more comfortable. They're going to be more comfortable, but Dabo cannot go 4-5. He cannot. He will steal the other team's signs, give them a shot of Colombian bam. He's going to do something. He can't go 4-5. Not at home. He will not make it out of the stadium with a job. This is a 3-point game. Vegas, they're giving you just enough to swing it towards Notre Dame so you can lose a lot of money. Give me the 8%. I'm going Clemson. That might be one of my biggest upsets of the week or whatever. But yeah, give me Clemson.
All right. So you stole my thunder. I also don't think that Dabo can go to a losing record, making $11.5 million a year, because Tyler from Spartanburg will absolutely light him up, and Tiger calls will no longer be in existence come Tuesday. I'm gonna go Clemson. I feel like they got to come back. I feel like Dabo can't do what he's been doing. He did take 2 losses. I've done my research now. He lost by 7. He lost by 8. One of those in double overtime. Give me the Clemson Tigers over Sam Hartman, who should probably win the Heisman. This is the dumbest pick I've made all year. Give me Clemson. Moving on, number 7.
Clemson will not be grilling burgers before this game.
Yeah. Number 22, Kansas State travels to Texas. Number 7, Texas. Texas now 7-1. Oklahoma took that loss. Interesting to see kind of what shakes out over there in their conference deal. Texas is favored in this game against Kansas State by 4. Kansas State started off the year. Everybody thought they were going to be hot. What do you think they got now?
Kansas State is very good on defense for sure. I don't know that they have the offensive firepower that they need in this one. I'm taking Texas at home with or without Mullet Man. They lost the one to Oklahoma. They're riding under the radar. I think that there's a high chance that they slip in towards the end of the year, but give me Texas.
Yeah, I think Ewers is out the rest of the year, I believe, is what I saw most recently. I'm trying to get a check on that, but I as well think Texas is definitely going to just go ahead and do it. He is not officially out for the year yet. Texas definitely going to take on Kansas State. Lay it to them. Give me Texas. 66% on matchup predictor, and 87% of America thinks Texas got this game. Unfortunately, Kansas State's just not going to have it. And that is going to be it for the 12 o'clock games that we're picking here. Up next, number 9, Oklahoma travels to number 22, Oklahoma State. In-state rivalry, 3:30 ABC, big time, prime time, 7-1, 6-2. OU coming off that last week they choked, right, while I was gone?
No, Oklahoma State. No, you're thinking Oregon State.
No,
which I get.
No, I'm talking about Oklahoma.
Oh, Oklahoma. Yes, no, they
lost to Kansas.
Yes,
right?
They fumbled. Yes.
So yeah, Oklahoma playing Kansas choked last week. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, I think they're gonna do it again this week. Who you got?
I actually have Oklahoma State as well. Here's the thing, man. Oklahoma, from what I've seen, I like Dylan Gabriel, but I think he's been exposed a little bit. I think when he has to throw, he's proven at times that he can't get it done. He tries to do it all with his legs. Oklahoma, put him at the running back, spot and get an actual quarterback that can get the ball down the field. I don't know what to tell you. That may be an ignorant statement, but from the games that I've watched, he, like last week, I think he may have even had more rushing yards than he had throwing yards. But yeah, to Oklahoma State at home, in-state rivalry. This is their Super Bowl. Give me Oklahoma State at home. I'm going with the 19%.
I like that pick. Atta baby. All right. Next up, we have number 23, James Madison at the Georgia State Panthers. James Madison is still 8-0, undefeated on the year. I guess it's probably one of their tougher contests of the year, traveling to Georgia State. Georgia State 6-2. James Madison is favored by 5.5. Who do you have in this big time barn burner 3:30 ESPN2? Nobody's watching it yet.
Well, Georgia State, I picked them at one point. I said the Henny was going to be popping, and it definitely did not pop. I think that was against Troy, maybe. They're coming off that loss to Georgia Southern. Man, James Madison, you guys have played great all year, but the Magic's going to run out this week. Georgia State's going to get the win at home, baby. Give me the 8%. We're going all or nothing, baby. I'm taking Georgia State to upset the Dukes and ruin their Cinderella season because, Cinderella was, well, never mind. I was going to make some off-color joke. But, yeah, no, give me Georgia State at home.
Bold prediction going with 8%ers there over James Madison, who's undefeated. You're insane. Anyways, up next, we have number 21, Kansas travels to.
So I guess you're going James Madison?
Yeah, James Madison.
Okay, I didn't hear you actually make your pick.
I probably didn't. Anyways, next up, my segment.
You give him a little bit of power.
I don't know if you know, but like this new microphone, for those of you listening at home, I am on a new microphone if you can't tell, and it's messing with my head. Like it's not as warming to my ears as I listen to it through my monitor, but we'll work on it. I am going to take the Dukes. I think that they're just going to overpower Georgia State. Georgia State, they're Georgia State. I mean, they're just going to lose. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't feel good about that pick at all. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's about time for James Madison to lose, and now that I've said that. But, yeah. Anyways, number 21, Kansas, coming off their big win, goes to Iowa State. Kansas is 6-2. Iowa's 5-3. This interesting game. Iowa State is favored by 2.5. Who you have, sir?
This is an interesting game because Iowa State gets it done through the air. Kansas typically gets it done on the ground, although Bean, their starting quarterback, played great last week. This one's honestly tougher for me than it probably should be. I think Iowa State's defense is a little better, but I'm gonna go Iowa State at home, man. It's a night game. I like their defense. Kansas is gonna be coming in high on the hog because they upset Oklahoma. I think Iowa State's gonna come in and get that dub, man.
So I like that pick. I indeed actually had picked Kansas. I'm going to stick with it. But I actually really like your pick there. Oddly enough, for those of you who don't know, Iowa State at 5-3 is somehow like second in conference in their standings, if I'm not mistaken, behind Oklahoma. Just with how they played, they took their loss to Oklahoma. They're still kind of playing for a chance to be in the Big 12 championship game. If they kind of win out, they'll be there. So, interestingly enough, we'll see what happens with that. But good pick on Iowa State. I'm just going to take Kansas to go ahead and roll with their domination that they showed last week. Up next, we have number 5, Washington Huskies traveling to USC. This is a 7:30 Eastern game on ABC. This ought to be like 1,000,000-0 over under 76. Washington's favored by 3. Caleb Williams is apparently going to be trying to gain ownership of an NFL team during this game. Who are you going to pick?
I'm going Washington on the road. This is not really a quote-unquote upset, but this is the first, I think, road victory that I've picked. I just don't think USC's got the defense. I think that they've been exposed 3 ways a Sunday. Caleb Williams is already counting that NFL money. He don't even really care about this season. Anyways, just my humble opinion. But, yeah, I'm going to take Washington on the road for the win.
Not so fast, sir. Michael Penix is finally going to run into a wall he's never run into before, and he is going to lose to the University of Southern California. I think after a rough little stretch here, barely getting the win last week over Cal, is finally going to pull USC together. I think Caleb Williams is understanding that his draft stock is falling. He needs to look good. This is his opportunity to overcome. This is Washington's chance to choke. Washington has not looked as good. Remember, ever since the Oregon game, it's been close games, man. They played close games. I don't know. I know that Penix is a stud, but
so you think Penix is going to run into a wall?
Yes.
In a USC team that beat Cal by 1 point, lost to Utah, lost to Notre Dame, beat Arizona by 3 points in 3 overtimes, and about fumbled and lost to Colorado 48-41. Is that the wall you're talking
Penix
about?
Penix is going to throw 2 interceptions, lose this football game, and approximately 47-41. Give me the Trojans.
It will probably be a high scoring game. I don't know. I mean, every team is definitely due a struggle win for sure. Man, I don't know. I just don't think that the USC Trojans have the defense. But either way, is that the game day? No,
Nope.
or no, it's
That's our
LSU
next
Bama.
game. It's the game day game. Speaking
Oh, hit me
of
with it.
number 8,
Mm-hmm.
Alabama, Nick Saban's Crimson Tide welcomes in the number 14 ranked LSU Tigers. Once again, another battle of the SEC West. This game every year always ends up just being a barn burner. It's probably going to be close. Alabama's favored by 3, over under 60.5. I'd say that's about right. LSU put the upset on Alabama last year. Let's not forget. Saban did not forget, as he didn't against Tennessee. This game is in Tuscaloosa. I'm going with the Tide. What about you?
Yeah, I'm going Tide. This is a 7:45 kickoff Eastern Standard Time, I believe. LSU's recovered fairly well, but I mean Saban's got it locked in. He's already proved Casper wrong. He's going to roll on in probably to the playoffs, get another one, and retire, and then be eating some key lime pie down in the Keys or something, by the end of the year. So, yeah, I'm gonna take Saban. Saban at home.
Solid pick. All right, moving on. Miami travels to NC State this week. 6-2 versus 5-3, 8 o'clock ACC Network game. These games have been nuts. This is a game where Miami lost to Georgia Tech. This is where Carolina lost to Virginia. This is where Carolina lost to Georgia Tech last week. This is just when stupid stuff happens. This 8 o'clock game on ACC Network. Both these teams are kind of disappointments for themselves at this point in the season. Miami, was rolling, choked Georgia Tech, lost to Carolina. Carolina choked. ACC's doing what ACC does. It's time for basketball. Who do you have, Big Drewski?
Give me the pack at home, baby. Night game. That stadium's gonna be rocking. Miami, if it's close, don't know how to end it properly. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna take the pack at home. These teams are fairly even matched, but these nighttime kickoffs, man. They give me the pack at home.
So interestingly enough, only 18% of America is going with the pack here. I don't know why this game is night game in Raleigh. It'll probably be later than it'll be exciting down there. And yeah, give me the pack. Moving on, number 19 UCLA travels to Arizona. Arizona, the team that is here to ruin everybody's dreams. UCLA 6-2, Arizona's 5-3. I think this is going to be a pretty close game. Matchup predictor is giving this game 52% to UCLA over Arizona. America is voting 78% for UCLA over Arizona. I think Arizona is not getting the love they deserve, honestly, at this point in the season. What do you say, sir?
I say America's stupid anyways. Give me Arizona Wildcats, baby. I mean, it's matchup predictors got it close. UCLA Bruins quarterback, Moore. He's got 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions on the season. He's probably going to throw 2 Saturday night. Yeah, give me Arizona. Give me Arizona at home. I'm just going with the week of the upset. I'm either going to just bury myself in this competition or I'm going to rise from the ashes.
Yeah, I think Arizona's going to win this game as well. Obviously, they've coming off the win their Oregon State, knocking them off number 11. When they knocked them off, they're going to take down UCLA. I think Arizona's really showing their stuff, and they took losses to USC and Washington by 7 and by 2. This is a good football team. Just kind of had a rough schedule there. So, yeah, give me Arizona as well. Final deal of business here on the Pick'em segment. We need a tiebreaker for LSU Bama. Both of us picked Bama. What's your number?
54 points.
I had 67. So I think it's going to be kind of a high-scoring game. I don't know if either of these teams have a defense. I know I picked Bama. If Milroe comes out and starts throwing picks, Bama loses this game. I just want to get that in one last shot. Other than that, moving on.
Back to me. We kind of covered this slightly, but we're going to get on into the fan question of the week segment.
Now it's time for the fan question of the week segment. To submit a fan question, click the contact tab at www.bigdrewski.com.
You've got mail.
The mail's here.
The mail's here. Okay, so I have been slacking on these a little bit. I do apologize. Part of it is, we do pick and choose if it's something we feel like we covered or whatever a little bit. But I thought this was a good question. Now, again, we're at the end of the video, but these go live usually around 11:30 on Monday or Friday. That does drop the same day as the podcast. But if you're watching this live or rewatching it, whatever, comment on these videos, guys. We'll go in and read some of them. But I thought this was a good question. Brent from La Follette, Tennessee asks, why is Ohio State ranked first? We did kind of cover this slightly, but last year I said, basically that I think they put the Vols first so that when Georgia beat us, that game held more weight and catapulted them up. They want Michigan and Ohio State in the playoff, right?
Yeah, 100%. That's the reason they're doing this crap. It's Kirk Herbstreit's running the committee too. I don't know if y'all know that, but Herbie runs football in America.
Obviously,
you can't tell me this stuff's not rigged. This is disgusting. Ohio State has done nothing yet this year to earn this. Anybody that wants to try to prove me, I'll be sitting here in my chair waiting for you to prove me wrong. But it's gross. So
it is
why?
disgusting.
Because people are stupid. That's the answer.
It is very dumb. I don't know why other than just they want these money brands in there, dude. Like, it just is what it is. They want that Ohio State Michigan matchup. I think they're gonna try to put it in a somewhat favorable. There's no logical reason why Ohio State should be first. Like, there's just not. I don't know if they've even played Penn State or in their hard games yet, but they've had some struggle wins.
Penn State. They did play Penn State, and they did get a win. It wasn't that close, but other than that, they haven't.
So I guess that's why they're putting Penn State above. Putting Ohio State above Michigan. I don't know, but we'll see how it shakes out the rest of the year. That is all I have. We're at 57 minutes. Oh, yeah. So the lock of the week, I'm not going to cue the intro because we got about 2.5-ish minutes left before our target. But make sure that you gamble responsibly. If you cannot control your gambling, please call the Tennessee Red Line. And again, the lock of the week is just designed for $1 to $5-ish bet or whatever. Don't be betting your entire week's salary or nothing on it. It's just for kicks and giggles. But lock of the week, Casper, who you got?
I've got Texas minus 4.5 versus Kansas State. Obviously, I picked Texas to win the game. I think they're going to absolutely smack Kansas State around.
I have Rutgers plus 18.5 versus Ohio State. Ohio State had it locked in, but Rutgers is underrated on defense. I think that they might have a little something for it, but that's my guess. And then our kicker is, and we've done Colorado all year, so Colorado plus 13.5. I feel pretty confident about that. But Casper, any final thoughts?
Thanks y'all for listening. I'm excited to go to this game on Saturday, baby. Let's do this thing.
Oh yeah, if you bump into us, baby, say howdy. But we're gonna go ahead and just exit on into the sunset. Again, this is the Little Tangerine Show. I am Big Drewski with my co-host
Casper,
and we're out, baby. Peace.